I'm Johnny Vegas, and you're listening to KopTalk with Dunk. And all you other Liverpool sites, just stop embarrassing yourself, all right?
Yo, what up? This your boy Smooth, straight from New York. You're listening to KopTalk Podcast. Remember this, you never walk alone, but if you fuck with us, you walk with a limp.
All right, guys, how's it going? It is Wednesday, the 29th of March, 2023, and you're listening to the KopTalk Podcast. All right. In association with footballclubshares.com, where you can buy real shares in real football clubs. That's right. And you don't have to mint it either. It's 20 quid, 25 quid, something like that. And you can become an owner in, some of the biggest clubs in Europe. Not as good as Liverpool, though, or as big as Liverpool. But no, it gives you an interest in other stuff, and it's just a little side interest of mine, that little website. It's not working properly at the minute, actually. The theme is broken. You can still view it, but it doesn't look like it should do. But yeah, footballclubshares.com if you want to buy shares in Italian football side maybe, or German or something like that. Yeah, I'm sure you don't want to buy shares in Manchester United. No, it's just I like to have an interest in football, in other leagues, and that's why I don't understand why, I don't like international football so much. I mean, England is obviously my home nation, but I just can't relate to them. Gareth Southgate bores my tits off. I've tried to watch both games that England took part in this last week or whenever it was, right? I couldn't even tell you the results. I know we think we won in both games, yeah, Italy and Ukraine. But I couldn't tell you the final results. I ain't got a clue. And I had them on. What does that... I'm not even joking. Like, seriously, on a big projector, probably 10 foot wide or something like that, I'm sat bang opposite it, right? But I spent more time on my phone, and I don't even remember what happened. That is the God's honest truth. I mean, my memory's not the best, but it does nothing for me. I want the real football, and I want Liverpool and Man City this weekend. That's all I'm interested in. Honestly, I don't know if any of you guys feel like that, but that's certainly how I feel. Anyway, so we're going to try and put a little podcast episode together, because I do enjoy doing the podcast, you know what I mean? And, I enjoy doing everything to do with KopTalk, but you need something to talk about. Now, a few weeks back, a month, 2 ago, whatever, we were buzzing, weren't we? We thought we might get sold and all that, and I was churning out videos left, right, and centre, and, just like, I don't know, just we had something to talk about, some hope, and at the moment it's gone very flat, hasn't it? That's what she says. So all we can do is talk about things. So listen, what we're going to do is I'm going to mention Jude Bellingham, right? And despite everybody being so negative about this at the moment, and despite the usual suspects, right, the likes of Ornstein and what's he called? Joyce. I forgot his name. That's how long it is since we spoke about Liverpool. Despite them, they're the only two, in my opinion, that you need to listen to, right? In particular, especially Joyce, right? Because of the relationship they've got with the club. It doesn't mean that they're amazing journalists, but for whatever reasons, the club trusts those two. I don't want to say the word trust. The club uses those two more than any others, all right? And I think that Joyce is more to do with connections at the club itself, and I think Ornstein has got, is in John Henry's ear, FSG. So I need you to know that, so that when you look at, articles by both of them, I want you to try and remember what I just said. So try and remember, remember what I said to you. Whenever you see an article or a claim, always think, why am I reading this? Like, who does it benefit, right? And I want you to read those articles and then think, does this sound like what Dunk said? Because Joyce, I think he's channeled information from Anfield, and I think Ornstein is channeled information from the actual ownership, right? Now, there is people from FSG at Anfield as well, and obviously they'll cross over and stuff like that. But that's my opinion, that's my experience, and that's what I'm sticking to. All right, so just bear that in mind when you read these articles. Now, if you think I'm wrong or if you think I'm right, DKB, all right, Dunk knows best. Let me know. Podcast@koptalk.com. I'd love to hear your thoughts on stuff like that. So we're gonna talk about Bellingham. Them two have obviously played everything down. And I think I said in a video at the time, Why is that? Why are they doing that? Are they doing that to sound the fans out, to see what the reaction is? Are they doing that just to put us in check, like calm down everyone, or is it to give the impression to rival clubs and maybe the holding club, the ownership club, Borussia Dortmund, that we're not going to be mugged off? And I'm leaning towards that, I'll be honest with you. And despite the mood in the fan base at the moment and everyone being really negative, I'm actually not that negative about our chances of signing Bellingham. I'm not going to say that I'm jumping and, skipping and all that, like buzzing off my tits and everything, because I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm not one extreme of positivity, like some fans that think it's been agreed for forever. And I'm not at the bottom where I'm going, they'll never do it. You know what I mean, right? So I wouldn't even say I'm in the middle. I'd say I'm slightly towards positivity, all right? And it's just what I feel. And it's what people are saying. And it's not, like these Twitter ITKs would go, my sources, my contacts. I would say my friends, okay? Now, my friends, people that are associated to the club at various levels, think we've got a chance of signing Bellingham in the summer. So, is there anything? I'm sure his name's going to come up again because I'm going to go through today's rumours. That's the mainstream rumours from around Europe and whatnot. I like to review that, especially with all clubs. But we're also going to look at what, more, like the Liverpool Echo, what they've been spouting the last 24 hours and stuff like that. The Liverpool Echo is absolutely pants, guys, but it does give us things to talk about. Back in the day, when I started KopTalk in the 90s, the Liverpool Echo was brilliant. It was really, really good. Now, I put an article on KopTalk.com last night. Don't forget to visit the website, guys. Don't just go with the podcast and the videos. Liverpool step up interest in Ivan Ndicka. Is that how you pronounce it? Hey, and we haven't done that for a while. You can tell we've not been talking about transfers. I'm terrible at pronouncing transfers. Now, transfer. Right, I'm going to rephrase that. I'm terrible at pronouncing the names of players, as many of my long-term listeners know. If it's not John Smiths or Jack Daniels, I ain't got a clue how to pronounce their name. Anyway, he plays for Eintracht Frankfurt, and he's a centre-back, and he's available on a free in the summer, unless, of course, he extends his current deal. And it doesn't sound like any of this surrounding him is like his agent trying to get him a better deal or anything like that. I think this is genuine. The key people are saying this to me, right? And they're saying that there was contact that had been stepped. This is what's been said to me, all right? And I have spoken to a journalist in the UK, an English journalist for one of the tabloids, right, in the last few days, and they've had a similar sort of vibe and that, right? And what I was told that contact was established with this 23-year-old representatives over the weekend. There'd previously been an inquiry, a bit of sounding out, and that suggested that the player could be interested in a move to Anfield, if the opportunity was there. Now, apparently he's 6'4", 6'3", that kind of height. He's a left-footed defender, centre of defence, but he can also play on the left side of defence as well. He's very, very, very highly rated, and there is dozens of clubs looking at this kid. We'll say kid, 23. He's not a kid, but you know what I mean. And it said that he's got a similar style to Samuel Umtiti. Oh, I love that name. He was born in France. He's of Cameroonian descent, and he's represented France at various levels. I think right back to the under-16s or something like that, up to the under-21s, not the seniors as yet. Now, the only bit of a negative surrounding that was that his agents, I can't remember what the name of the agent or agency was. I did know that, but it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. There's no connection. There's no obvious connection in those clients, guys, to Liverpool, past deals or existing players or anything with that agency. So I'm not sure about if there's any relationship there. You would assume that there isn't, but who knows? But apparently they're demanding what has been described as an unrealistic signing on premium. Now, obviously, when a player's out of contract, there's no such thing as a free transfer because the fee is going to the player as an incentive, as a signing on fee, right? So that's not unusual. That's not unusual. Hang on. Anyway, so you're going to pay a big signing on fee to a player that's out of contract, right? Depending on who he is, obviously, and how old he is and all those factors. But we're being told, or I'm being told, that it's unrealistic. So Liverpool are obviously saying, right, he's a free. This is what we'd expect to pay. But the demands from the agents are excessive, apparently. Okay, and now the suggestion is that a few clubs have apparently stepped to one side because of that to see if anyone else would be willing to stump up the cash, right? So in other words, they're going to watch what happens. Shut up, Remy. That's Remy. He's kicking off because he gets jealous. He's my rescue dog. If you don't know, if you're new to the podcast or the KopTalk gig, it's my little rescue puppy, and I put him outside when I do a podcast or something, and he's protesting. And we're in Spain, so it's a lovely, nice day outside. There's no need for it. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what the little bastard did yesterday? I left the door open so he could go in and out, and he cocked his leg inside the fucking door, inside the house, instead of going outside. That's his way of saying, fuck you, you fat guy. Anyway, listen, now this is a really important bit, right, of this article that I added. And, if you might see more about this on the members' website, the KopTalk members' website. KopTalk sources claim the Reds are looking at multiple players that are out of contract at the end of the season. Now, I don't think that's rocket science. I think we would all assume that. And there are some good ones as well. They also insist that the club is currently working on, quote, multiple transfer options, right? So we're currently working on multiple transfer options. Ahead of the summer window, despite no new sporting director having been officially announced as a replacement to the outgoing Julian Ward. Now, does that mean that there's someone working alongside him or that they have identified someone? Just the way it was put across to me, no new sporting director having been officially announced as a replacement to the outgoing Julian Ward. So maybe we'll hear something on that soon. However, I don't know if you were around, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but there was an article on KopTalk, I think it was yesterday again, KopTalk.com, the news page, Milner frustration at no offer to extend Liverpool's stay. Obviously, these articles are included on the members' website and often have more opinion or discussion surrounding them on the members' website. But the claim is that, sources close to Milner claim that the player is frustrated. As we approach the summer, he has no idea what the club's intentions are with him. Basically, Liverpool haven't arranged a sit-down with James Milner to discuss a year's extension, despite the 37-year-old having indicated he's willing to commit another year. Now, I don't know what you guys think of that. I mean, I've got my cup of tea here. He can't go on forever, but if his fitness is there and he can do a job and he can play in the League Cup and be an option, then the boss is going to want him. Because let's be honest, are the Reds going to replace every player that leaves? And I think it even says that. In this article here, it says many fans believe Klopp is too loyal to the likes of Milner despite the manager's denials. Because back in January, Klopp said you can't judge him normal for his age. He's 37, doesn't look a day like this when he's in training. He's an incredibly important player. It is not that Millie expects to play 64 games a season, but in 64 games a season, Millie could be extremely important. There might be more fancy players out there, but no one with a similar mindset, and that makes him incredibly valuable for us. And it is not because I am too loyal. It's just a fact. Klopp is very loyal, though, isn't he? And many fans believe that, that he's too loyal to the likes of Milner. And they feel that, it's time for the player to be released. While others, right, might suggest, like I just have, that under the present ownership, the boss has to hold on to as many players as he can, because the chances of the cash being there to replace every single exit is an unlikely scenario, right? So if you're Klopp, you're probably thinking, I need to keep him, otherwise that's another midfielder I've got to replace. And now there is a source, very good source, not a friend. It's not someone I could call a friend, but it is a source that's close to Milner that claims the player is frustrated. Yeah, and the same source claims there is interest in him from other clubs and that these are currently being investigated. Now, I just noticed I've noticed the word "in" is missing the letter I. Where was that? In the summer. There we go. See, I don't know if I need to start wearing glasses. Let me just update that. Let me just drink my tea as well. I do apologise. No professional, attitude or work ethics around here, guys. We're just us, innit, Now, Liverpool sporting director Julian Ward is leaving Anfield in the summer, as we know, and as yet there's been no official word as to who will replace him. Again, no official word. Officials in the club insist that it is business as usual with regards to contract renewals, player sales and purchases. But if that's the case, why are we waiting around for Milner? Are they waiting to see where we finish in the league, see what happens with, the budget and things like that? I can't imagine that, this is going to be breaking the bank, so to speak. So if the boss says he wants him, whatever we think's relevant, right? We go with the boss. It's as simple as that. So that's just something for you to consider. Now, going back to Ivan Ndicka, or whatever he's called, the Eintracht Frankfurt defender, Dave Maddock wrote about this as well in the Mirror newspaper. All right. Now, Dave Maddock, back in the day when Fowler and McManaman were at the club, right, Murphy, people like that, was outstanding. He was the daddy of Liverpool FC news. Not today. All right. Dave's all right. He's what he is, and I don't know. I wouldn't be able to follow his Twitter account because it's quite, I don't know, there's a lot of politics and things like that, which is that, that's associated with the club from the old days and stuff like that. You got to remember that whatever your opinions in life, right, Liverpool Football Club is now a global brand institution. I hate saying brand, but it is a global identity around the world, which means that many, many supporters of different backgrounds support the club, all right? And so that's going to be people on the left, which traditionally Liverpool, and then there's going to be people on the right. And if you're on the right, it doesn't mean that you're walking around like Adolf Hitler with your hand in the air all day. It's just might be more about business and jobs and shit like that. It's just really, I don't know. When I was brought up, I was brought up in that Labour environment, and I've only ever voted Labour, politically. I've never voted for anyone else other than Labour in a general election in the UK. And I canvassed from my local MP when Blair was elected. But Labour's different to now, right? So I've got different views. And when you're brought up, you sort of like, it's programmed into you. Maybe, I don't know, maybe not you, but not my dad, because my dad was, we think my dad was a Tory because he was a copper, and he never would say what his political views were. But like to my mum, my nana, my granddad, they had fuck all, my grandparents, and so we came from a very poor environment, a council estate, so everyone voted Labour, right? And we were brought up, that the right was like Nazis and all that, but it's not, and you've got to understand that when it comes to supporting Liverpool Football Club, we've all got different opinions on very, controversial issues and things like that. We've had this a lot recently, haven't we, guys, with politics because of, the supposed interest from the Middle East and so on. And that was a prime example of how some people are still stuck in the past. Just my personal opinion. And I also think that there is racism in some of this as well. And I deplore all of that. I can have a joke with you about any subject in the world, right? Anything, and that's just my personality. I can't be doing with these people that get wet, that get upset, and there are certain content creators and Liverpool groups out there that I put in those categories, right? Me, I'm just one love. That's what I think, guys. One love. Just be a good egg. Whatever your views are in life, just be a good person and try and be a good person. So I don't like to follow journalists that spend a lot of time talking about political issues and shit like that as well. It just does my head in. And to be honest with you, I think Maddock could retweet something yesterday about Jeremy Corbyn. Do you know what I mean? That says it all to me. So I don't want to know about people's politics. I only want to know about Liverpool Football Club. I couldn't care less. Listen, guys, right? I can take a bit from the left and a bit from the right. That's how my politics are. I can agree with that, some of that. No, could never agree with that. That's it, right? That's how it should be. Do you know what I mean? They're all the fucking same, aren't they? Let's be honest. All these politics, they don't give a fuck. I'm 48 years of age. My life's never changed one bit, regardless of who was in power. So fuck that shit. So anyway, moving on from that guff. Maddock was talking about that Ivan Ndicka, which I think is interesting that he's mentioning it. I did read his article. I didn't think it was as informative of what I have been, that's been shared with me, if you like. But I'm thinking it's probably the same sort of route or the same sort of source or something like that. So it's just worth noting for me. I'm like, oh, Maddock's mentioned it. Dave Maddock, So that to me is a good thing. And don't get me, listen, I don't have any problem with a single journalist out there, all right? So I'm just trying, in a non-condescending, non-patronising way, to educate some of you guys that maybe don't know the background to some of these journalists. And Dave Maddock, I think he has the absolute best intentions for Liverpool Football Club. And anything he writes, you can trust. Now, that doesn't mean that he's right or that things won't change. What I mean by that is he will not deliberately mislead you. And he's probably one of the few journalists out there in that clique that wouldn't do that. So when you see anything in the Mirror, or if someone says to you, have you seen that article in the Mirror today about Liverpool? The first thing you should say is, who wrote it? If it's Dave Maddock, you go and look at it immediately, all right? Because you can trust him. That's my opinion. So we need to keep an eye on that one, that link, for sure, as Rafa would say, for sure. Andy Robertson, he set up Manchester United Scott McTominay as Scotland succeeded against Spain last night. I think that was a bit of a shock. I haven't seen any of my Spanish friends, so I haven't been able to have an opinion on that. My friend Ken, that's the Newcastle fan, you remember him, he's a Scotland fan, and he's been very quiet. It's very surprised me, but I think that might be because of his connections with the Spanish community. His 2 children, his daughter and son, both have partners that are Spanish. They live a Spanish lifestyle here, really. But yeah, so I need to see what Ken thinks about it all, to be honest with you. So listen, there was a lot of stuff, to do with Liverpool players and, on international duty. I was reading some of the things this morning. Listen, guys, I really don't care. I just want them to come back, from international duty, fit, without injury and stuff like that. Right, what else we got? Luis Diaz is back. I'm sure you know about that. We've got people talking about the Mason Mount stuff. I think that I think he's been linked with Bayern Munich now, and I'm not quite so sure I believe that link, to be honest. I think there's the agent at play here. But we know, I said back in January, I think it was around the 23rd, I know for a fact that Liverpool, key people at Liverpool, people that make things happen on the transfers, had a sit down with. I know exactly who they had a sit down with, and we've probably discussed that at some point. I'm not going to mention it on here because this is available to everyone, but it's probably on the members' website. But we know for a fact that there was a sit down in January and it went well. So, I think he's on the radar for this summer. I don't think he's rocket science. As I think Matheus Nunes as well, which I'm very surprised about when we could have had it. We could have had him a lot cheaper previously. Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott were both involved in England under-21's 2-1 defeat to Croatia in a friendly. I didn't even know they were playing. It couldn't care less. And as I just mentioned, Robertson captained Scotland to that 2-0 triumph over Spain at Hampden Park, which is amazing. Salah, he produced a goal and an assist during the 4-0 win for Egypt over Malawi yesterday. So he's another one that's been in action. And I was just thinking, was there anything else to do with Egypt? I don't even know if you guys care, to be honest. Listen, I used to defend the internationals years ago on KopTalk, saying, well, I want them to play for international football against the best players, and that's good for Liverpool. I can look back to that England-Germany game, the 5-1 win or whatever it was, and all the Liverpool players getting the 5 goals, Owen, Esky, Gerrard. It was incredible, But them days for me are well and truly gone, honestly. Is there anything else? I'm sure you saw Jordan Henderson as well talking about Jude Bellingham, saying how he's he'd love him at Anfield, that kind of thing. And we also had Steven Gerrard with that post-match interview after an England game, bigging him up. So that's interesting. I don't know when we last spoke. There was a claim yesterday that an offer of £100 million has been submitted for Jude Bellingham. This has come from British agent Hayden Dodge, who was an exclusive interview on courtoffside.com. I guess the website is very poor. I wouldn't waste your time with it. And I think this agent is chatting shit because he says it's known that a bid just from Liverpool, just shy of 100 million, has been submitted for Jude Bellingham. Now, I think he is going by what the claims were probably last week. I can't remember. I did an article on the 23rd of March, 6 days ago. Jude Bellingham, £97 million bid latest. That is on KopTalk.com and the members' website. I think I did a video, maybe even the podcast. I can't remember. There were rumours circulating that Liverpool had tabled this 97 million bid, which is just short of that 100 million that he's been quoted as saying, right? This is following a report that came out in Spain. It was in Spanish, and it didn't make that claim. And a lot of these shitty blogs and Twitter accounts were saying that Liverpool had offered 97 million, and it wasn't true. It basically came from one of Real Madrid's unofficial mouthpieces in the media out here in Spain. that suggested that a fixed fee in the region of £97.4 million to £102 million, which could rise to £132.7 million. Now, you're probably thinking, why the 0.7s, the 0.4s? That's because it's converted from euros, okay? But it could go up to 133 million pounds, depending on appearances and bonuses. And that's roughly what Dortmund are angling for. So they're looking for just over £97 million to £102 million as the fixed fee. And they're obviously estimates based on, from euros. And this is what a lot of these people that don't get it and don't read things properly were saying. And then you had a lot of Liverpool fans coming to me saying, Dunk, have you heard about this 97? So I had to do this long article to explain to everyone what the article actually said. Now, the article said that Man City and Liverpool were in a stronger position than Real Madrid, that Real Madrid were willing to spend more money on him, in terms of the fee, were willing to pay a higher fee, but wouldn't be able to match, or wouldn't and couldn't offer the same personal terms that could be offered by City, especially, obviously, and also Liverpool, though. And the article made reference to Real Madrid's very highly respected chief scout, Rooney Calafat, right? So you can only assume that he was the one feeding the information. There's no proof of that. Now, KopTalk sources claim that Calafat recently met with Mark Bellingham, the player's father and representative, right? And that was earlier this month. But there's been no claims that Bellingham Senior has had any formal or informal conversation with Liverpool as yet. And Real Madrid think that they're favourites to get him, but I think that's more about attitude. They're trying to make out that Bellingham's indicated he wants to go there, and that it's his family that want to move back to England, right? And that could be true, the bit about his family wanting to go back to England. And there's also, Bellingham could stay in Germany for another year. Who knows? Now, I'm just reading the article, and there's a lot more on the KopTalk members website, obviously. I mean, I'd love it if you come over and join us on there. Approaching the summer, there is no better place to be. And that's not my view, that's the members. And they've been with me for 25 years, guys. So, and they stay with me. They're exceptionally loyal. Why do they do that? So if you want to become a KopTalk member, if you drop me an email, dunk@koptalk.com, I'm in a good mood, right? So do it before the weekend in case things go wrong. I'll help you out. It's not about quantity. It's about quality people, all right? So, if you're thinking, I can't afford the membership fee, look, I'm a good egg with you guys. You're good with me, I'm good with you. If you say, well, I could pay 20 quid, Dunk, for a year, then just do it, but just don't tell anybody. You know what I mean? All right? So I'll look after you guys, So you just dunk@koptalk.com. I can get you on there today if you want to take part on the members' website. And don't forget that not only does that give you access to the community and all the news, and there's some very important people in there, I'll tell you right now, right? But you also get the extra bonus podcast episodes and the bonus videos from KopTalk TV, so you don't need to subscribe to the other stuff. Come on! You get on. If you're a diehard mature red, that's where you should be. If you want to battle it out on social media, then more fool you, right? I will look after you if you want to get on there. Just be honest with me, okay? So that's where I think that agent is coming, with that nonsense about, everyone knows there was an offer just short of 100 million. I don't believe that. But I do believe that Liverpool are going to try and sign this boy, all right? Talking about transfers and things, Joe Gomez, he was linked with Newcastle this week. I don't know if you know that, but again, it was caught offside. I think that's more like clutching. I think that's like just common sense stuff and that, and I could see Joe Gomez at Newcastle. Liverpool have been voted as the best away support in the Premier League, all right, but have joined Man United as the most disliked set of supporters. Well, we don't give a fuck, do we? It was this survey by midnight.com. And Liverpool won 33% of the vote, while United had 31% for the best set of away supporters. But looking deeper into the statistics, Liverpool fans dislike Manchester United fans 42.68%, a lot more than they do their local rivals Everton, which is 5.5%. It'd be funny if they got relegated, wouldn't it? Whereas the Toffees picked Liverpool as their most disliked fan base with 25% of the votes. I don't know if you saw this. You might have heard rumours Kostas Tsimikas, he suffered an injury while we were on international duty with Greece. But according to Giannis Chorianopoulos, it ain't serious. All right. Ryan Gravenberch, there's another one. That could be, that is absolutely one to watch. There's a lot of claims being made about that boy. We've seen the agent at Anfield. We've had Buggerlugs with the selfie stick. Jose Enrique saying that the deal's on because he's got the same agent. Definitely under consideration. Wouldn't be surprised if that one happened at all. Mason Mount, Liverpool favourites are signing 4-6, was 7-4 last week. That means people have put money on. They think it's going to happen. Football supporters, do not believe them, do not believe them. Do not trust them when it comes to betting on players, possibly signing for us. I've got a video, I think, on my KopTalk TV account on YouTube. Just go on my channel and search Sky Bet, I think, and that will explain a little bit about that. They can be very misleading. Sky Sports, Sky Bet. We've had suggestions. They were taking bets on Liverpool, possibly signing a centre-back years ago, and he was undergoing a medical at Manchester United. And there was, if you were listening to the coverage, you'd be thinking, oh, well, let me get a bet on he's going to United. But he was actually, Liverpool, sorry. But he was actually undergoing a medical, and you've got to be very careful. And just because money has been put on, a player possibly going somewhere doesn't, unlike, say, horse racing, where people have genuinely heard information, think, oh, look at that, odds are coming down, they're shortening. So a horse might be 10-1, 8-1, 6-1, 5. That means people are there putting money on because they've heard something, right? And it's a different industry to football, yeah? Because you don't know who to believe in football, do you? But, people are like, we've heard all this Mason Mount stuff, which absolutely, I think Liverpool are favourites to sign him. But do not ever put money on players making transfers. And I'll be honest with you, I have done in the past, and I have a 100% track record with my members whenever I've said you can put money on that, right? One time it didn't happen. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, that's not 100% then. It was an injury. The player was injured and couldn't complete the transfer. Not have failed a medical, which I would have still claimed 100%. And he did then go on to complete that transfer the following year, I think. So, but the transfer didn't happen in the particular window, the summer or whatever. And I said, yeah, it's going to happen, but it didn't. I never thought of the player would have a medical problem. But yeah, 100%. So whenever I get someone message me and say it's done, because I can't say too much on here, but over the years, I've had like people involved in player liaison, if you like, to do with properties for players and things like I've got to be really specific, but I can't be really specific because I don't want to give anyone away. But if you think of things that you need in your everyday life, whether it's a laptop, a mobile phone, a car, things like that, the club have people that deal with all of that for the players. And when they organise these things, they need to know who they're going to. And sometimes I've had people at the club message me and go, I've just delivered or hooked up such and such to this. I can assure you it's all done. So because of that knowledge, that's when I've been able to say, lump on, lads, lasses, whatever, get your money on. But it's not something that I would advise. And gambling anyway, hang on a minute, listen, gambling should be a laugh. So if I have a bet on anything, I like to have a bet on the plus 2.5 goals. That means there's going to be more than 2 goals in a game by either side. All the goals added together, it's going to be more than 2. The bookies call it plus 2.5 because then you've got both teams playing for you. So as long as there's 3 or more goals scored, you win. But what I do is if I put a fiver or a tenner on that, I do it as if I'm not going to win my money. All right, so you should only ever bet and think I'm going to lose that. So if I go to the horse race and I'm going to take 50 quid, 100 quid, whatever amount of money you take to the horses, to the races, you've got to say, I'm going to lose that. All right? That's how you do it. It's no different to going to the cinema or going out to the football. It's going to cost you 50 quid for a ticket or a tenner for the cinema, 15 quid, whatever, right? That's the cost of your entertainment, and that's how you should look at betting, all right? Don't ever, please, gamble and think, I need to make this money, because chasing it is the worst thing in the world, especially when you're losing. And I think I'm quite experienced with gambling and that. But again, I will stress I only do it for entertainment purposes. And to be honest, you could spend 20, 25 quid at the bookies at the weekend. Why not go to footballclubshares.com and buy some shares in Juventus for the same amount of money? Do you know what I'm saying? And they're real shares as well, by the way. They're not novelty shares. Right, let's move on. Look, I'm hustling. All right, guys got to make a living, and it's hard. All right. Inter Milan would take into serious consideration a move from Liverpool for Marcelo Brozovic. According to reports in Italy, the Croatian is one of the many midfielders linked with the move to Anfield. And do you know what I'm going to say to you now? I was thinking about this last night when I was laid in bed. All right, because Liverpool is my life, right? And I was laid in bed last night, and I I turned the light off and I just put my head on the pillow and I was about to go to sleep and I was thinking about what I was going to do today and I thought, it started, hasn't it? And do you know what that is? It started. The transfers have started. The speculation. Now, you're going to say there's speculation all year round, though. Yeah, there is every day of the fucking year and it's tiresome. I'm talking about the real stuff, right? Now, with my experience and intuition, right, I just think you should trust me. It started. This week, it's happening. You're going to now start seeing credible stuff. So you're now going to start seeing things that you should pay more attention to than the usual guff that we do, all right? Every day of the week, you're going to see Bellingham stuff regurgitated and just rewritten in a different order. But I think you're now going to start this. We're entering that period now where the club are at it, all right? Trust me on this one, right? I've got a big grin on my face. And I was laying in bed thinking about it. I thought, yeah, it's on. It started. So the real stuff is happening behind the scenes now. No matter how, disheartened or miserable you might be about it all, I can assure you that it's on, all right? Manchester United are preparing to make an £80 million bid for Tottenham and England forward Harry Kane, 29, after club chief executive Richard Arnold sanctioned a potential deal. That's in the Star, who you wouldn't normally pay attention to, but there are others making those claims as well. Bayern Munich want to sign Chelsea and England midfielder Mason Mount, 24. That's the Times. I think we touched on that earlier. Manchester United have taken no major steps forward in agreeing a new contract for England forward Marcus Rashford, 25. That's the Athletic. The Standard say Chelsea have yet to open new contract talks with Croatian midfielder Mateo Kovacic, with Man City interested. The 28-year-old has 16 months left on his current deal. This is from RAI, which I believe is an Italian outfit that's been cited by 442 in the UK. Liverpool are willing to pay more than £60 million for Napoli and South Korea centre-back Kim Min-Jae, 26, who is also a target for Man United. The Mirror say Liverpool are also in the fight for French defender Ivan Ndicka, 23, who will be available on a free transfer in the summer after turning down a final contract offer from Eintracht Frankfurt. 100% genuine, that link, guys. I'm telling you. Link, right? Know what that means. Know your terms. Link. It's only a link. It's genuine. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Arsenal are interested in signing Denmark midfielder Jesper Lindstrom, 23, who Eintracht will let leave for a fee of about €30 million. That's Sport 1 in Germany. Fabrizio Romano, Mo Salah, Man City are still waiting for Germany midfielder Ilkay Gundogan to make a decision on his future, with Barcelona keen on signing the 32-year-old on a free transfer. Would you take him? Linked with us years ago, do you remember? If Gundogan does go, City are considering Borussia Dortmund and England midfielder Jude Bellingham, 19, and Bayer Leverkusen and Germany midfielder Florian Wirtz, 19, as potential replacements. That's Football Insider, who you shouldn't pay any attention to. But there is an article on KopTalk.com about that player. Liverpool linked with Florian Wirtz, credited with an interest. Are there any sources in there? It's claimed he would cost around £61.6 million. He's under contract until 2027. In the article, I put transfer tap-in merchant Fabrizio Romano is the latest mouthpiece to link the Reds with Wirtz by stating that Jurgen Klopp is monitoring the race to sign him. But we're obviously not alone. And he is a tap-in merchant, is Fabrizio Romano. Right, where was I, guys? We don't read from that publication. Romano again. Clubs interested in Roberto De Zerbi would have to pay a fixed amount to Brighton for the Italian manager, and any deal would only be done in the summer, not during the season. Meanwhile, De Zerbi wants more control and greater input into Brighton's transfer plans, say the Mail. Football Insider, Chelsea are set to make 27-year-old English midfielder Ruben Loftus-Cheek available for transfer at the end of the season. Sport, which is a Spanish publication, Barcelona are interested in signing Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang on loan just a year after the Gabon striker, 33, left the club for Chelsea. Staying with Spain, we've got former Spain defender Hector Bellerin, 28, in talks over a return to Real Betis, where he spent last season when he ends his current loan from Barcelona with Sporting Lisbon this summer. 90 Min say a number of Premier League clubs, including Leicester, Fulham and Wolves, are monitoring Lorient and France under-21 midfielder Enzo Lefebvre after the 23-year-old confirmed he wants to leave this summer. 90 Min, a terrible publication. Football London, Tottenham have come to a pre-contractual agreement to sign 16-year-old English forward Herbie James on a 3-year deal from Man City's academy. The Mail, Chelsea are set for a battle with the Premier League over a potential breach of spending rules, with the club ready to cite Germany defender Antonio Rudiger's departure for Real Madrid on a free transfer last summer as one justification for their huge losses. Manager David Moyes that was the mail, by the way. Manager David Moyes and his West Ham coaches Fede will be sacked if the Hammers lose to relegation rivals Southampton on Sunday. And again, that is the mail. Right, let's give a shout out to the squad, the lovely people that support this podcast, that make it possible. You should get down on your knees and bow to these fuckers, guys, because if it worked for them, there wouldn't be a podcast. www.KopTalkPodcast.com if you want to join the squad. Right? If you want to join the squad. Now, it's going to set you back a fucking fortune, guys. It'll be the equivalent of buying me a cup of coffee once a month or a vodka and Diet Coke in a really shitty bar in Spain. I mean, that would be very cheap vodka. But it's going to cost. It's like buying me a coffee. All right, it's £3 a month. I won't have a nosebleed over it. But you get rid of all the adverts. All right, and you can listen to the private episodes as well. Yeah, when we shut you out. Yeah, and they're good ones, trust me. Right, so anyway, www.KopTalkPodcast.com. Honestly, helping a brother out is a big deal around these parts. Thank you to James Braid and Liam Buckland. They're supporters, all right? They're supporters. We've also got Wayne Brown, Tom Brown, TG, Simon Digweed, Matt Bingley, Jamie Nigrette, Jamie motherfucking Gilmore. We've got Harry, Hamza 1996, Glyn Taylor. We've got Craig Alford. We've got Clint. We've got Aaron as well. We've got the legends. That's right. They put a little bit more in there. Tyler Dean Williams, Scott Cheatham, Paul MC. Scott Cheatham is just joined the members website. I'm absolutely delighted to have him back with us. Paul MC, we've got him there as well. We've got Matt, we've got Mika, we've got James Lee, Jack Wood, Jack Rudgley, Big Wave, Dave, and Andrew Evans. Yeah, how you doing, guys? You all right? Then we've got the royalty. They're kind of like buy me a bottle of vodka a month, if you like. All right? I don't know. Maybe if you're a Muslim, you don't approve of that. So let's just say to buy me 3 or 4 coffees. Michael Couchman, John Watt, a.k.a. Watty, David Sutcliffe, and Adam Naylor, who runs an exceptional YouTube channel. Look him up. Adam Naylor, Naylor, is the only Liverpool FC content creator I have got time for. That doesn't mean that I don't like anyone else. It means he's the only one that I watch and listen to whenever I'm like just chilling, because I don't really want to watch Liverpool content. That's all I do all the time. But when I'm sat at home, bored off my tits, having a bite to eat, and I've got YouTube on, and I'm like, let's see what Adam's got to say. I see his little cute face, hashtag no homo, flash up on the screen. And I think, let's see what Adam's got to say. So, www.KopTalkPodcast.com if you want to join your squad, or go to KopTalk.com and click on that join VIP membership on the right-hand side. And fucking hell, guys. Oh, it makes a big difference. I might be able to have steak this weekend instead of egg and chips. I don't have egg and chips. I'm not allowed chips. Hey, I've lost a lot of weight, probably 9-10 kilos in the last few weeks. How good's that? Just saying. I know some of you do care. I noticed that Jack Rudgley recently changed his pledge as well. He's jumped up to legend status. So thank you very much, Jack Rudgley. Very appreciative. I think I'm going to do a bit more for you guys on the audio content as well, because sometimes I think, I could just quickly record that audio and upload it. So I might do that as well. Anyway, www.KopTalkPodcast.com. I think that's it, guys. Obviously, we've got a new day ahead of us. I might do a video today. We'll see if we can get that out. I've got some stuff going on at home today. I've got this chap, like a little pensioner. He's a really nice guy that's building me a little new fence at the side of my house. Because of the dog, the Remy. He's chewed the other one. It was a little bit short, so he could stand on up against it and chew the top of it. So he's going to build him in a new prison. Oh dear. I don't know how I'm going to fucking pay for it, but it needs doing. So, anyway, guys, that's it. That's your lot for today. I hope you've enjoyed today's podcast. A lot longer than I expected it to be honest with you, so I'm glad it's given you something to listen to. And listen, if you are a KopTalk VIP member, or if you are one of the lovely, beautiful people that I've just referenced, from the squad, the podcast squad or whatever, I'm very grateful to the support you've given me. I would not be here without you, and you guys really do appreciate my content, and you know what You Never Walk Alone means. It's not just a slogan, it's a way of life, as someone once said to me when my mum died. I know there's many of you out there that would support me if you could, and if you're listening, you're still supporting me. And a great way of supporting me would be to email podcast@koptalk.com and get your thoughts out there. And when you send me emails, that makes me do a podcast. Think about it, right? The odd email can get lost in the spam or something, or something might happen that prevents me reading it out. But I read everyone's emails out if it's possible, all right? And if you like the podcast and you're thinking, well, Duncan made an episode, where is he? You need to contribute, because if you send me one, it puts me under pressure. I go, oh, fuck, I've got an email, right? We need to address that. It's serious. When you send me emails, I know I need to do a podcast. So if you want an episode tomorrow, for example, if there's not doing, I'll be like, well, there's not to talk about. But if an email comes in, I go, oh, okay, no, I need to address that. All right? Podcast@KopTalk.com. You can email me. Or go to www.KopTalkPodcast.com. And after you've signed up as a patron, a supporter of the podcast, there is a section there that says contact. You can fill a form in. Come on, guys. Let's get it going, all right? I just want plenty of stuff to talk about. That's all it is. You take care, and we'll speak real soon. If I don't get any emails, I'll try and get back with you by Friday, and hopefully with the game at the weekend, that'll set everyone off again in a positive way. Saturday night streaming. I think I'll be doing one this Saturday. I'm not so sure. I'm meeting the boys on Friday, not seeing them for a couple of weeks. I don't like drinking side by side. Thought about doing it on a Friday. If you've got any thoughts on that, please let me know. But we stayed up on the last stream on Saturday. I was up till after 6 a.m. with you guys, and we weren't wrecked either, but it was a very, very good night. Jamie motherfucking Gilmore was there, and we're having a good serious conversation about life, and that boy's loved up and he respects his chick. It was fucking great, honestly. Community is key. And people have mocked me before for sticking up for my community. And I tell you what, man, I will fucking stand up for everyone that's part of the KopTalk community that supports me and is part of this KopTalk journey and our great association and love for Liverpool Football Club. And I'm just really, really proud to have created this shit so that we get to interact and stuff, guys. Honestly, I love you to bits, man. Okay, guys, take it easy and we'll speak real soon. All right.